Peace, 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 family. Happy spring equinox. Happy spring. Happy new year. All of the things, okay? Happy spring equinox, right? I feel so blessed. I feel so fortunate. I feel so fortunate because it seems like every time I go live, it's on an important day like the spring equinox, right? It's on a value packed day, a spiritual day like the spring equinox. And I feel like, you know what? Thank you, God. I feel like that's happening for a reason. I feel like that's happening for a reason. So, hey, everybody, happy spring equinox. Thank y'all for joining me on this lovely Thursday. Yes, yes. Ooh, 11:11, right on time for cosmic energy. Y'all, okay, we have things to talk about today. And we got some goodness to talk about today. We got some goodness to talk about today about how we recognize our spiritual messages for this spring season. Okay. That's what we got to talk about today. I'm so excited about it. And y'all, I tell you, it's just like, it just be my life, right? Right? Like Roy Ayers said, my life, my life, my life, my life. Literally, all of this is just straight up like synchronistic, powerful, divine alignment. And I'm so excited to share with y'all how to recognize this in your own life because I guarantee you it is happening. I guarantee you it is absolutely happening in your life. And so you want to be able to recognize how spirit is communicating to you, not just in the spring season, but in every season, right? The seasons that we are in just communicate how spirit is communicating, right? It just creates, the correspondence. But anyways, before I get into all of that, let me say hey to y'all. It looks like my camera is jumpy right now or my internet is jumpy. Be patient with it. I think it'll get its act together soon. Peace, Lindsay. Hey, Iman, Cosmic Energy, Shakila, CC. Thank you, CC. I did a little something to myself to celebrate the spring equinox. Hey, love. Happy wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary, Lady of the District. Hey, the Titan, 2400. Yes. And then, hey, I am Infinite Being. And then, hey, to everybody else that is here but did not formally welcome themselves in this space. Hi to all of you. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to introduce myself. I know all y'all already know me, but for people who may come across the video later who are not familiar with me, I am Desiree D-Ray, spiritual healing coach, and I help people, specifically women, but I work with some men as well, to heal their relationship with themselves, to heal their relationship with all things, okay? And so that's what we do here. We talk about personal evolution, personal growth, healing, transformation, all of that good stuff, so that we can experience the level of goodness that we are meant to experience in this human form. Okay. So, first of all, this message is for you. If you know that you like to see yourself evolve, change, grow, expand, you need to understand the spiritual messages of the spring season for yourself. If you know you want to create a certain level of inner peace and a certain level of outer abundance, this message is for you. Because the only way we achieve this inner peace, this inner flow, this connection to our higher selves, and the only way that we truly create a life of prosperity and abundance in our physical realm is through being able to recognize the spiritual messages we are receiving. Okay. And so like a person like me or Dream or let's say Iman or Lindsay or Professor Melanie or Brother Panic or Bobby Hemmett, all of these people that you listen to and you receive insight from, we are really just giving you a skeleton. We are really just giving you a framework. We're really giving you a system to operate from. right? But you have to figure out how that system integrates into your personal life. And so that's what I want to help us to recognize today. I'm going to give you the system, but once you have the system, you got to look at your life and say, okay, how does this weave? How does this connect? How does this flow? Okay. So if you know that evolution, growth, and expansion is a part of your human experience, being able to recognize spiritual messages is of high importance. And it doesn't matter what path you take, whether you are spiritual, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, atheist, whatever. You have to be able to recognize the unseen language that is happening. It's happening. There's no way around it. Okay? Everything is not black and white, and we got to learn to read beyond the illusion. Okay? Here's the main idea with this life is always communicating and giving messages. Okay? And our ability to perceive the message and then implement the lesson within the message is the key to the outcomes we experience in this physical reality. And why it's so important goes beyond our physical experience, but also into the afterlife, into the lives that we will live beyond being Desiree, Iman, Dream, Cece. When we evolve out of this human body, when we transition and when we transcend and transition, the wisdom and our ability to communicate with God comes with us. Okay? It comes with us. It's very important. So, I just wanted to get that out and make it clear. Now we're going to jump into the how, right? We're going to jump into the how. Before I do all of that, before I express all of that, how are y'all actually doing? How are y'all doing on the spring equinox? How have you been leading up to this day? Okay, because the day is important, of course, but everything leading up to and everything beyond today is also of high importance. So I want to check in with y'all and see how y'all are actually doing before I jump into how to actually recognize the messages of spring. Okay. Let me know in the comments. I only have 2 more readings left for my spring readings. I only have 2 more, and I feel so good about it. I am so grateful for it. The 2 people that I have left, one didn't fill out their um, consent form. And so if the consent form is not done, then I can't do the reading. And then the other person, they actually signed up a little bit later. They're part of the Patreon. And so they were the very last person, but we are almost done. And those 2 people are going to be receiving their readings on the equinox. So how awesome is that? Thank you, Iman, for sharing how you are doing. Girl, amazing. I feel so refreshed and renewed. Leading up, I have been celebrating and being in a space of joy and true presence. Yes, I've observed that of you, sis. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Everybody else, I hope the Titan says much inner work and realizations. Been a bit shaky, but vibration is live right now. Totally understandable. That is totally understandable as well. Okay. I hope that the message today, matter of fact, I know that the message today will support everyone in getting more in alignment with how you desire to feel, no matter what is happening in your life. Okay. And I'll tell you, one of the ways that we recognize the spiritual messages of the spring season is by identifying the resistance that is present. Okay. So whenever, let's say you have a plan for something, you want to do something, you're excited about something, and there's some resistance that shows up, that is a spiritual message. There is information that you need to know and understand within that resistance. Okay. And Dream and I had one of the greatest realizations of this just yesterday, right? So Dream goes and gets his hair done. And we live in the suburbs of Houston. Dream always goes into we live in the suburbs of Houston, but we still say Houston, right? Dream always goes in the city, literally downtown Houston. Okay. He goes to downtown Houston to get his hair done. And so anytime he goes to downtown Houston to get his hair done, we always want to get food because there's just some food that you can't get in the suburbs that you can get in the city. And so, in particular, yesterday, we were going to get some vegan soul food, right? We're talking about your fried oyster mushrooms with a waffle. We're talking about a vegan fried cauliflower sandwich. We're talking about some candy yams. We're talking about food like that, right? That you're not going to get on the outskirts of town for whatever reason. Okay. And so I send Dream the place. And here's the first thing that we should have recognized when Spirit was like, maybe y'all don't need to get this food. But we didn't catch the sign. Okay. And the reason why Spirit allows us to experience a certain level of resistance is because within the resistance is a lesson. Because whenever we are feeling resistance, a lot of times there is some emotion connected to it. Okay. A lot of times there's some emotion, there's some frustration, there's some annoyance whenever there's resistance. And anytime those emotions are such a gift from God. Those emotions are such a gift from God because when you feel it, it lets you know that there's something out of alignment, that there's something that needs to be addressed and worked on. Right? If we're always copacetic, if we're always even keeled, if there's never no push pull in our lives, then we perceive everything to be well. We perceive everything to just be all good. But sometimes that's the illusion of life. Sometimes that's the illusion. The complacency, the cool, calm, and collected, sometimes that can be illusion wrapped up in comfort. So when we are experiencing a little bit of strife, a little bit of struggle, from the most minute thing to the biggest thing, it is an opportunity and a gift from God to say, okay, let's look at what we are doing on a repetitive level that is not in alignment with our greatest greatness at this time. And so Dream is out in the city. I send him this place. First of all, Tabitha Brown had recommended this place. She was just in Houston last weekend. She recommended this vegan restaurant. I'm not going to mention the name here. You can go to her page. You'll see. She just posted it, right? And so I was like, okay, this is the perfect time for us to try this food. We always get food whenever Dream's in the city. And so I sent him the place. But before I sent him the place, I wanted to make sure that the place was not far from where he was in the city because Houston is a huge city. I mean, it's the third or fourth largest city in the world, right? Houston is huge. And so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be sending him on a rat race. So I look and the place is only 8 minutes away from where he was getting his hair done at. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Let's go there. Okay. And so Dream's in the car and he's going there and the place is a food truck. And so whatever address he had put in at the time was not getting him to the right place. He's like, babe, I'm at this address and all I see is a CVS. I don't see the food truck. Okay. So right then and there, our antennas should have been going off to say, okay, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe you need to come home. But it wasn't happening. Okay. The antennas were not going off. We were resilient. We were pushing through this small inconvenience of the address not being all the way correct. So we redo the address. We figure it out. He makes it to the location. He gets to the location. He gets out the car and he says, it's a few people here. Shouldn't take that long. He asks the guy, how long is it going to take for the food to come out? The guy says 25 minutes. Dream and I are like, okay, cool beans. Mind you, I have Kimmy and Kai at home, with me. Dream is out. Our kids get out of school at 3:25. It's 1 o'clock when Dream calls me and says that he's at this food truck. And so I'm like, okay, babe, order the food. 25 minutes is not bad. That gives you enough time to get the food, get the two kids from school, come home, be good. And so he orders the food and he calls me back on FaceTime and he's like, yeah, I'm here waiting. And then we get off the phone because we're like, okay, 25 minutes, I can be doing something, you could be doing something, whatever. He calls me back at like the 35-minute mark. Yeah, babe, food's still not ready. Okay, still doing good on time. You'll be able to get, hopefully it's coming out in the next 5 to 10 minutes, whatever. You'll be able to get to the kids. Dream gets out the car. He goes up to the front place and he's like, hey, brother, you know how long it's going to take? You said 25 minutes. We now looking at 40 minutes. What's going on? Oh, yeah, it'll be right out soon. Right out soon. Dream goes back to the car, calls me. Yeah, babe, it'll be right out soon. Okay. Now it's been an hour. Dream has been waiting on this food. Mind you, the longer you stay in the city, the longer it's going to take for you to get out of the city. Do you understand? Because it's a weekday. People are getting off of work, etc., etc. So Dream and I keep on playing phone tag. We keep on calling each other back saying, how long is it going to be? How long is it going to take for the food to come out? How long is it going to take you to get back home? Conversation we kept having. We had this conversation probably 5 times. No exaggeration. At one point, Dream says, all right, babe, it's taking a little long. Should I just cancel the order, get a refund, and leave? But the inner battle of that is like, you've already been waiting for an extended amount of time. Why? Hopefully the food is coming out, right? Like, why waste 45 minutes, 30 minutes and not eat, not get this food that we were anticipating? Are y'all following me here? Let me know if y'all are following me here. And so Dream and I are having this resistance, this battle of what do we do right now? Okay? Because the longer the food is taken, the longer the traffic is going to be that you are going to be in. But we were hopeful. We were hopeful, right? We were like, it's going to work out. Do y'all know that it took over an hour for that food to get ready? And then it took almost an hour for Dream to make it home. I ended up having to go and get the kids from school. I ended up having to pack up Kimmy and Kai and go get those other 2 kids, even though that's not ideally what we do. We don't want to take the 2 small kids with us to go pick up kids from school. Ideally, one of us parents goes and get them. The other 2 kids hang out at home. And so it took 2 hours and a pretty penny, because y'all know when you buying this vegan food, fried mushrooms and fried cauliflower and all of that food is not cheap food. It's just not. You're getting a little bit of food for a lot of bit of money. And so Dream comes home and first of all, I'm annoyed. That's how I knew there was some resistance. There's some lessons learned here, because it was not my plan to have to get up and go out the house and go get these kids. That was not my plan. I was actually on the computer doing some work, sending out some readings. I was handling my business. And so the frustration and the annoyance that I felt was a message from God that there's something out of alignment with this situation. And so Dream makes it home and he says to me, let's just hope that the food is worth it. And I had already came to the revelation that it wasn't worth it. I had already knew it's not worth it. It's not worth the hour wait for the food. It's not worth the hour drive to get home. It's not worth us getting outside of our normalcy and having to, listen, I move around with Kai and Kim all the time. But when I'm moving around with Kai and Kim, it's in flow. It's not in, oh, let me hurry up and get these kids in the car. Let me hurry up and get to this school. That's not what it is. It's we're going to the park. We're going to the pet store. We're going to the library. And I'm not restricted to any type of time. Okay? So there was some frustration there. So when Dream gets home and he's like, let's hope it's worth it, I could look at the food And I could look at everything that it took to get that food, and I already knew it's not worth it. And so it led Dream and I into a conversation as spiritual beings. We said, okay, God, what are you trying to teach us in this? Because Dream don't like traffic, and he just sat in 45 minutes worth of traffic for some food. I don't like feeling rushed. I don't like having to get outside of my flow. What's up with that? There's a lesson in this. And as we talked and talked and talked and talked about our experience with this energy individually and our experiences as a collective, as a family, we came to the conclusion, maybe this spring season is asking us to stop eating out so much. Maybe we are bending over backwards to eat. Now, mind you, Dream and I both have also been having conversations about dropping some pounds, getting we are feeling great in our bodies, right? We are feeling great in our bodies, but I know that I got 15 pounds that I could lose and really feel even better. Dream has been going to the gym. His arms are big and strong. His legs are nice. And he's a strong man. He looks good. But to him, there's some extra pounds that he can lose to feel like his optimum self. Okay. And so we're like, damn, both of us have been talking about shedding a few pounds, getting a little bit in better shape. And one of the major components to that is food, what you eat, specifically eating out. So that was one thing where we were like, okay, Spirit is telling us this is something that we have to minimize if we want to get that goal. Not only that, we spend a lot of money on food. Dream and I got vacations planned for this year, right? We're taking the kids out of town next weekend. We got a lot of amazing things that we're trying to do, but we restrict ourselves when we spending I don't know, $200 a week on food. Literally. And so that resistance that we felt was Spirit telling us this food thing that y'all got going on, it needs to stop. Y'all doing too much. Simplify your lives. And let me give y'all the proof in the pudding here. Here's the proof in the pudding. Because it's neither about, this is the thing that's so beautiful about these spiritual messages, that we're saying right now, okay, it may be about the 10 pounds. We're saying right now, it may be about the frivolous spending on food. We're saying that it may be about that, but how the divine works, how God works is much deeper. Right? There's a whole nother layer to it that we don't understand, but we know that if we follow this message of limiting how much we're eating out, okay, cooking more at home, because I cook. I love to cook. Dream loves my food. The kids love my food. Like, I love cooking. So we really don't have no reason for me to not be cooking. We just be kind of busy and we need to do a better job with managing our time. But we have a lot on our plates, right? And we trying to get a lot off our plate, okay? We're trying to minimize our plate. Do we understand? And I mean that in the best way possible. Because what I do understand spiritually is that we can do more with less. Y'all have heard the saying, less is more? Less is more. Sometimes when we focus on doing less, we gain more. And so Dream and I are just like, okay, how can we do less eating out? But let me tell y'all how deep this is and how Spirit have been giving us this message subtly for the last 3 weeks. And this is what I want y'all to understand. It's not about what revelations and downloads you have on today, this one day, this great equinox day. The downloads and the revelations are happening. They've been happening a month ago. But it takes time. This is something else I'm going to talk about in the build today. It takes time for the messages to sync up in your brain and for your perception to put all the puzzle pieces together. You get little nugget here, little nugget there, little nugget there, and the overall message is fragmented. Okay? And then leading up to high energy days like today is when it clicks. Okay. So I want y'all to reflect on your last 3-4 weeks. Let me tell you what happened to where we kind of had got this message. And Dream was actually going to bring it up in the Patreon yesterday, but I slowed him down. And I don't even know why I really slowed him down, because I don't really feel any type of way about it. But I guess it was because I was supposed to relay it in this message today. Because Dream and I didn't know that food thing was going to happen at the time. So 3 weeks ago to the day, Dream and I were food spot. We eat this spot. We used to eat this spot at least twice a week. It's a Japanese restaurant that's in our neighborhood. It's literally 3 minutes away from our house. They have a fire lunch special. The lunch special is good. You get a soup, you get a spring roll, and you get whatever you get, right? Great lunch special, always fresh, hot food. 3 weeks ago, y'all, I ordered my regular meal, and I'm eating. Crazy enough, I'm feeding myself and I'm feeding Kai this food. And I take a bite, and there's something hard in the food. And I'm like, thank God I don't rush when I eat, and I like to enjoy my food. Because imagine if I'm just scarfing this food down. Okay. So there's something hard in the food. And I wish it around my mouth and I pull it out. And literally, y'all, it's a metal thing, something metal. I don't know what it is. Something metal that is sharp on both sides. It looks like it could have damn near been like a nail or something like that in the food of the place that we eat twice a week. This happened 3 weeks ago. And I was pissed off because I'm like, and that should have been my first. And I'm gonna let me explain. Let me just go through the story because I will tell you. I was pissed off because we eat here way too often. And I immediately, when that happened, I immediately felt like I can't fuck with y'all. I can't eat y'all's food anymore. And so when I went to bring the plate back to them and they gave me a refund, they were kind of acting too nonchalant for me. I'm like, we spend too much money here. I was able to go through my confirmation messages. It was like Monday, Friday, Wednesday, like how much we eat at this place. Like I have tracking of how many times we ate at this place, literally. And then that happened. And so I was pissed off because I'm like, wow, we eat at this place regularly. Now we can't eat here anymore. And when that happened, Spirit had told me right in that moment, well, y'all need to stop really eating out, period. Right? Like this food is not that good. It's just convenient. It's just easier. Right? But it's not good for you. It's really not that tasty. It's not that dope. It's not that serious. So Spirit had told me that right when that happened. Right? But for some reason, it did not fully click in my mind that this spiritually meant stop eating out, period. Like if you're eating out because you literally don't have anything in your refrigerator or your pantry. And that's never the case for us. We always have food. There's always something to cook. Even if Dream has to run to the store, to get one or two things, like an onion or some olive oil or something, it's there. It don't take much. And so Dream and I are talking about this yesterday, talking about how long it took for that food, talking about the piece of metal that was found in the food that I had 3 weeks ago. We was like, damn, Spirit been talking to us. But you don't recognize the communication until it gets to a certain point of frustration. And then once it gets to that certain point of frustration, this is where the spiritual work comes into play. Your desire for clarity has to be deeper than your desire to stay mad. Y'all know sometimes we want to stay pissed off. Sometimes it's just easy to be annoyed at a situation and not think. Because when we're in our emotions, we're not thinking. We're not, being rational. And so as I was waiting to get the kids yesterday, I'm pissed off and I'm frustrated because I'm like, it's taking him too long to get home. It costs more than I wanted to spend on lunch. Like, ideally, Dream and I are trying to spend like $30 on lunch. That lunch yesterday was $60. So we done paid double than what we typically like to spend for lunch. It took an hour to get the food. It took an hour in traffic. Hell no. It's a no for me. It's a no for me. But it took all of that for me to recognize the bigger picture that Spirit was actually trying to convey, which is we would save money, we would have better bodies, we would eat better food, we would have better time management if I cooked at home. I cook dinner all the time. Specifically, we're talking about me cooking lunch. If I was intentional about making Dream and I's lunch, there's so many benefits. The pros versus the cons of me cooking our lunch is superseded. It's outrageous how much the benefits outweigh from eating out and eating at home. It's crazy. And so here's what we decided. In honor of this, right? So first of all, I'm thankful to Spirit that Dream and I were able to have a meeting of the minds. And we were like, all right, bet, we're done eating out. We're done eating out. There's so much that we could do with that money that we be spending on food, like so much. So it's crazy. Okay. So we agreed, eating out, done. Done. Only time we're eating out, we got to have a real detailed conversation about it. Like, for real, for real. Do we need to eat out right now? I'm going to have to go in that pantry, go in that refrigerator, look in the freezer, look at what we got and be like, okay, we got, let's go ahead and eat this. And it's okay if it's boring. That was one of the parts of the conversation Dream and I had yesterday, because we like excitement, right? We like excitement. We like a Thai curry, okay, some boiled shrimp, or like, we like excitement, right? But sometimes that excitement be causing harm. That's like a brother or sister, one of y'all on here, y'all get excited about this specific person that you've been dealing with, but you know that person does not have intentions for real love and partnership. So you chasing excitement instead of chasing boring, when boring has longevity, when boring has sustainability, when boring has growth. And that's real. That's real. And you want to know why it's such a beautiful balancing act that always happens spiritually that I want y'all to pick up? So Dream and I had decided last year that this year we were going to be going out twice a month. No matter what, every month, twice a month, we're having a date night for the entire year. How awesome is that? Right? How beautiful is that? Because for the last few years being parents, we haven't been able to really do that like that. We have a 1-year-old who's just now getting to this point of independence, right? Where it's easy for people to babysit him. Guess where all of that extra money from eating out gets to go? We get to have a quality date night experience. We get to go try new things. We get to go to the Michelin star restaurant because we didn't eat out for all of these weeks or days leading up to our date night, because the date night is happening no matter what. Now we get to do it at a certain level because we decided to pull back in one area of our lives. That's the beautiful payoff that we want to be able to recognize in our lives. That's the message of spring. It's like, what can you let fall away so that you can welcome something else into your reality? So beautiful. That's what this life is supposed to be like. That's the work. That's the wisdom. That's the insight. Okay? Before I move on to the next point, put a check in the chat if you understand how recognizing the resistance is key. Recognizing the resistance is key in receiving your messages this spring. Put a check in the chat if we're picking up that. Okay. That's point number. And I wasn't even going to talk about that first, but some way, somehow that just kind of seamlessly was the start of this build today. Recognize the resistance. Recognize it. Like it'd be a battle. You feeling some type of way, you frustrated about some sort of area of your life. There's a lesson in that. There's a gift in that. And the gift is beyond it's beyond what you are even conceptually aware of. I'm so excited for what's to come for Dream and I. Okay. Another aspect that is very important when it comes down to this spring season is it's so important that you are able to recognize things that are repetitive, habits, right? Pattern recognition is absolutely essential. Okay. And so, y'all, I mean, when I tell y'all it is so good, you just have to want to see these things. You have to want to experience these things. You have to desire the growth and the expansion. You got to want it. You got to get out of complacency and contempt and just no, there's a greater reality out there for you. And if you could recognize the patterns that are in the way of that greatness, if you could recognize it, you'll be like, damn, Spirit been trying to tell me this is a problem. And so for me, I've talked to y'all about this before. For me, there's always been a thing with time. And I have these moments, I have these stints where I'll be on time to everything, like a month or two. And then I'll go back into going with the flow, right? I'll get back into that type of energy. And so I don't know why, but at the beginning of this spring, I did a reading for one of my sisters in here. And as I was doing her reading, I was bringing up time. And, a lot of times we are preaching to the choir, right? The feedback that you are giving somebody else, you are also giving yourself. It's also something that you can use. And so I was talking to her about her time, and I was telling her how being on time is such a spiritual thing because what you are saying by way of correspondence is when I'm on time, I am in divine timing. When I'm on time, I am in alignment with the gifts that the divine has for me, with the fruitfulness, with the abundance, and with the manifestations. I want y'all to know and understand that, sometimes we do miss our manifestations. Sometimes they do pass us by. The beautiful thing about life, which is another thing that I was talking about today. So I'm so grateful to Spirit for creating this weave, right? And making sure that everything is interconnected. The beautiful thing is what goes around comes around. So even if the gift, the manifestation came around, but you missed it because you were late, it will come back around. Okay. So that's the beautiful thing about it. But I had to recognize that, wait, hold on, D-Ray, you're missing certain opportunities for growth and manifestation and expansion because you're not being on time. So like I coach volleyball, right? And sometimes I have practice at 5:30. Sometimes I was getting to the practice right at 5:30. And y'all heard the saying before, if you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. And so I was kind of taking that for granted. I was kind of taking that for granted. I was kind of just making it in the nick of time, right? And sometimes we're not prepared when we're getting there in the nick of time, when we're getting there right on time. We're not prepared for what is there for us. And so, like, for me, that was a major lesson because I'm like, I got to coach these girls. If I would have got here, let's say 10, 15 minutes early, I would have been able to get all of the things that I need, make sure I got all my balls, make sure I got the cones if I need them. And I was able to process exactly how I'm about to walk them through this practice. But I'm getting there right on time or just in time, let's say. And now I'm having to just make stuff up on the fly. which I'm talented enough and I'm gifted enough to be able to do that. But the level of stress that comes with that, I didn't like. And so Spirit was like, why don't you work on being on time, which means being early, so that you actually have the time to prepare for what it is you desire, so that you actually prepare for the outcomes that you want. I had to recognize that uh, uh, time was just passing me by. I'll be cooking for the family before I go to practice, and I'm looking up and I'm like, damn, it's already 5:10. And I gotta be there at 5:30. Like, this is crazy. So Spirit was like, let's start being more aware, recognize your patterns. Maybe you keep on waiting till the last minute to start something, right? Knowing I gotta be at practice at 5:30, but I'm starting to cook my meal at 4 when I probably could have started cooking my meal at 3:30 and then be done by 4:30. And then get to leave the house literally at 5 o'clock and make it there at 5:10. Like, girl. And so this pattern, we got to be able to recognize the patterns that are not in alignment with our highest good. For real, for real. And we got to not be passive about this, because what I was doing with myself, I was just like, I'm on time. I'm making it. I told him 5:30 was my time. I wasn't allowing myself to be better. I wasn't allowing myself to be greater. And so we got to recognize the areas of our lives where we're just getting by. Even today, I was so intentional. I was like, I am pressing live at 10:10. Not at 10:11, not at 10:12, not at whatever. I'm pressing live at 10:10. And the beautiful thing about being intentional in this way about our lives and about the specific things that Spirit tells us that we need to grow on, the beautiful thing about that is that the gifts that come from it, it happens almost immediately. When I tell y'all, my expansion is happening like immediately from making these decisions, instantly. There's work happening. There's truth, transmissions happening. There's transcendence happening. Instantly, it's coming through. Okay. And so, one of the messages that Spirit had given me in this spring season, or to lead up to this spring season, was we don't control the outcome. So, you might as well let that part go. You might as well let go of this idea of, I'm afraid to start this new thing because I don't know what the result's going to be. Is being on time really going to make a difference in my life? Is not eating out really going to help us to do bigger, better things that we want to do? We don't know. Like, when we're really being practical about these things, we don't know. We don't know for sure. Can't say for sure. All we can do is set the intention. All we can do is say, God, this is what I desire to be the fruit of this work. This is my desire. And if you'll give me the desire of my heart, gratitude. But I know that God, the Most High, the omnipresent energy, the sacred energy, I know that it has the capacity to go beyond what I think and what my ego can conceptualize. And so I surrender it. And I just say, I know that this is the work that I'm being asked to do. And all I have to focus on is doing it, not what it will bring. A lot of times we're not making the shifts and picking up on the messages because we don't know what the result's going to be. We don't know what the end is going to be. But what you can trust and have faith in and know is that the end will always align with what is best for you. And you can ask your higher self, you can ask the divine, you can ask the Most High to reveal to you how it's showing up, to reveal to you the gifts of your work. to be made privy. Okay? You can only control what you put in. You cannot control what comes out of it. So we want to make sure that we're sowing good seeds. This is the time of seed sowing. This is the seed sowing time. And so you got to ask yourself, do I want to sow the seed of last season? Do I want to sow the seed of last year? Your resistance and your patterns are going to show you what seeds you want to throw away, okay? And what seeds you actually want to sow. Okay? Here's a great example of this. I love this example because it just happened, not in my life. I just was able to be a witness of it. And I love being a witness. So Roy Ayers passed away, we know, last 2 weeks ago, right? Everybody loves the sunshine. That song was coming up in my head this morning, and I just knew that it had to do with Dream because when Roy Ayers passed away, we all know he's a super spiritual guy, and his music is so like powerful, right? And so multiple nights in a row, I'm coming to bed and Dream is playing Roy Ayers, all of his songs, right? And I didn't really know what Dream was kind of do. I just thought Dream was just honoring Roy Ayers. But I found out later that Dream was actually playing all of his songs so that he can channel Roy Ayers, right? So that he could connect with that energy and learn some lessons, right? And so 2 weeks go by of Dream playing his music and Dream having an expectation, right? Dream was playing the music at night, hoping or expecting or desiring for the message from Roy Ayers to come through his dreams, hence the name Dream Wise. And so he's doing his work, he's controlling his input, and he's looking out for the synchronicities. He's like, okay, when and how is it going to come through? And so he goes live on Monday with his Monday motion, which y'all should be joining that live stream because it's so good. I love it, right? And in his Monday motion live stream, he talks about how Bobby Hemmett and Miss Blue had a blog talk, and he talks about a very specific thing in that blog talk that Miss Blue and Bobby Hemmett had. And divinely enough, after the live stream, somebody comments on the video and says, here's the podcast that you were talking about in the live stream. Dream, following his promptings, following his intuition, he opens up that video and he listens to it. And when he listens to it, Bobby Hemmett brings up Roy Ayers. I want y'all to put a star. I want y'all to put a sun. I want y'all to put a sun in the comments for that. Put a sun in the comments for that. Because I want y'all to understand how you can only control the input and not the output. Dream was thinking that Roy Ayers was going to speak to him in a beautiful message in his sunshiny dream. But it went around the way, around the corner, and all around the way for that message to come up through some random person watching Dream's video, having access to the exact video Dream mentioned in his live stream and posting it. And then opening it up and Bobby Hemmett talking about how Roy Ayers is symbolic of being in spirit and inspiration. So now however Dream perceives that, that's on him. If you're in Patreon, he did a whole decode about how he perceives that. But what was so big to me, what I took from that was Dream only controlled, okay, I'm just going to listen to Roy Ayers every night. I'm just going to listen, and whatever happens, happens. He let it go and it came back. That is the lesson of spring. How do we know that this is a lesson of spring? I took the kids for a walk on Monday to the park. I do this now that the weather is warming up. It's going to become a regular thing, right? So I'm walking with Kim and Kai, and the wind keeps blowing. And as the wind's blowing, the leaves keep falling. And so everybody's lawn is full of leaves. And aesthetically, we don't like it, right? Aesthetically, we're like, these leaves, they're a nuisance. Okay? These leaves, even outside in the backyard, like I'm grounding in the backyard. I'm shoeless, I'm sockless, but I'm stepping on crunchy leaves. And that can be frustrating. But I was just like, okay, Spirit, these leaves, when they're falling from the tree, they're falling so beautifully, so easily. They're just like, let it go. They're like Elsa, frozen, let it go, let it go. They're just moving on. They're just moving on. And Dream and I were talking about that the other day, and he was like, the leaves that fall from the trees, they end up pollinating and supporting grass growth. And so as I'm walking the kids to the park, and every single time the wind blows, leaves just fall flying all in my face. That part is absolutely annoying. I just was like, okay, Spirit, this is a message of spring. Because we got to detach, and we got to let go, and we got to let flow, and we got to trust that what we let go of is a seed that pollinates and that germinates and that allows certain things to grow from us, that allows certain things to bloom and blossom from us, that allows us to be renewed in a better way. That was another message Spirit had gave me. This is a time to be anew. And we don't want to continue recreating our old selves, right? Continue recreating old stories, old narratives. Okay? Very important. It's very important that we be like the trees. And here's something that we got to understand about seasons changing in our lives, is that there's always a transitional period. You know what I mean? There's always a transitional period when we're going from season to season. So even though technically we are in spring starting today, there is some lingering energy from winter, hence what you still need to let go of. How do we see this in the physical realm? In the physical realm, you see this because some areas are still cold. Like, let me know in the comments if where you live right now, it is still cold. Both of my kids left out the house today in jackets. Period. And so how I perceive that is there's some winter wind mixed in with some summer sun. You got the sun of the summer mixed in with the wind of the winter. That makes up spring. And so that's the transitioning happening. As we're growing, as we're healing and transforming, it doesn't happen like this. Done. It don't happen like that. As you are moving into a new space and place, there's some things that linger from the past season. I look outside of my backyard. Some of my trees, greenery is coming onto them. Beautiful. Some of them still don't have nothing. Some of them are still bare to the bone, looking like winter. So what does that mean for us in our lives personally? We have to give ourselves the time and the grace to move into our new inner season. It don't happen like this. Them 15 pounds that I want to lose, it ain't going like this. No, it's a process. It's spring season and we still putting on jackets. Even here in Houston, my kids left out the house with a jacket on today. And by the end of the day, that jacket may be coming off. Okay? That's what happens to us spiritually. And the beautiful thing about spring and the spring equinox is that on today we get equal light and equal dark. Equal day, equal night. Equal good, equal bad. So we got to learn to embrace the balance of life, the balance of these transitions, the balance of moving into a new season, while keeping your mind focused on the main thing. Okay. So have y'all seen the Just Hilarious situation with the Breakfast Club? Okay. If y'all haven't, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. So Just Hilarious, y'all know her as a comedian, right? I never really found her funny personally. She just never had the type of humor that makes me laugh, but she's cool. Um, she got the job on the Breakfast Club sometime last year, which was a very big deal, her getting that job. Because she replaced Angela Yee and, decided to be that feminine presence on the Breakfast Club. Cool. She ends up getting pregnant shortly after that and then goes on maternity leave. While she is on maternity leave, another young Black woman, Lauren LaRosa, kind of fills in for her as that feminine energy to balance out the two masculines that are on that show. And Lauren LaRosa does a damn good job with journalism and giving people what they want to hear and asking questions to the Breakfast Club guests. She's doing a good job. Jess Hilarious comes back to work from maternity leave, and Lauren LaRosa is still there. Typically when you come back from a break, your substitute teacher, your substitute replacement leaves. Not on the Breakfast Club. Sis is staying. And understandably so, because she does a good job. She brings a new vibe. She brings an interesting perspective, which I think is good because watching Just Hilarious, it was never giving perspective. It was never giving me something to think about. That's interesting. It was always giving humor, which humor has its place. We need laughter, right? But it wasn't giving intriguing. And if you want to keep somebody listening to something, you got to intrigue them. You got to spark their interest, which the Lauren LaRosa girl kind of does. And so Jess is feeling some type of way because she's come back, but her replacement is still here. And so there's been a whole uproar, right? Corey Holcomb, who can very much so be a major asshole, right? Corey Holcomb, the comedian, he comes online in his 5150 podcast and he's like, yeah, he's calling her less hilarious. He's so terrible. He's saying less hilarious. She needs to this, she needs to that. I wish I would have saved the clips to show y'all. I wish I would have saved the clips to show y'all. But sure enough, actually, I can probably go find it because we can look at this stuff together because I want y'all to understand the goodness of life and how in everything we experience, it is always opportunities, right? Look, right when you type in it, it just pops right on up. It pops right on up. I want to see short clips. Let me see. All right, boom. So I'm gonna show y'all this one clip so that we can be on the same page with each other.
I heard about her up at breakfast, and now I heard about her up at the Breakfast Club. She done got it. Well, this is what happened at the Breakfast Club. She took that job. She got that job because I think she had a social media presence. I can't imagine why else. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. She got that job, and I always said she wasn't talented.
Saying that for a while.
She got the job and got knocked up shortly afterwards. And the worst thing in the world happened. They brought in somebody who was talented. Who they bring in?
Homegirl from she used to be on TMZ.
Yeah, she has experience with doing that. When she talks, her voice. I don't know her name. Yeah, the girl who is Lauren. That girl know what she doing. She knows how to fit in with Charlemagne and the other guy, DJ Envy. It's like it's seamless when she there. Right. It's the talent. The talent shows out, and then Les Hilarious ain't even reading right. And now she had a job where all she had to do was deliver the news. She had a segment. Yeah.
So y'all get the gist, right? Y'all get the gist of what's happening there. I wonder. Let me see what
the thing. You let the internet dictate what's going on. We've had conversations, and this is the thing. This is why I thought it was corny, and it's just me personally. I thought it was corny because we have conversations up here. We just have a meeting. If you had an issue, a problem, a situation, or something that you felt, Why you ain't bring him to the team?
What?
When you came back, Jess, I pulled you to the side. I said, Jess, if you feel uncomfortable, if you don't want Lauren in the room, this is your show. We can make that the change whenever you want. Did I not say that to you?
Yeah, you did. It's not about wanting her in the room, yo. It's about the segment. Like it was like y'all
have that conversation
y'all wanted
off
her.
Air. If you had a problem, say it
I've
to us.
had
We had a
many
meeting
conversations
yesterday.
off air. What
Not
is we
like
talking
that,
about?
not-
And now,
So look,
And I
wait,
was gonna get to that.
hold on. I want to see where she was going off. Let me see. I want to show y'all how she was actually. Oh, it was really. Oh yeah, it was really, really interesting. Where is that video of her at home? There's a whole video. Let me see.
Take me off that shit. This is not. It's no longer my segment. I said it. Take me off of that. Give it to her. Give it to Charlamagne. Said, nah, I don't want it to be her segment. It damn near sure is already. Like it's her segment. She's reading it and she's doing it to the best of her ability. Shorty is like that. Yeah. That's why I picked her to fill in for me for maternity leave. That's why I picked her. Y'all need to understand something. I'm never hating on Shorty. I already told her. I tell her every day. I tell her she's pretty every day. I tell her every day. I big up this woman every day. Every day. I don't have no reason to fucking hate on that girl. I don't. No, I didn't like her when I came back because I'm like, all right, what's going on? What's going on? She knew it. We had a conversation. Because the anger was misplaced. Nah, it ain't even you that I don't like.
So look, Jess had to realize that her anger was misplaced. Okay. But and yes, your comment, Leah, is partly true as well. He definitely was personalizing the whole Jess Hilarious thing. He was absolutely emotional, but that doesn't mean that some of his points were not valid. Right? But the big thing, and even with Jess, when she was just saying, that's why I picked her. Yeah. That to me has some underlying energy that's not really coming from a place of love, right? It's like you trying to take ownership for this girl's goodness, right? And then she contradicts herself when saying, I always big up the girl. I always tell her that she's pretty. But then she came around and said, yeah, at first I didn't like her. Yeah. The whole I picked her, at first I didn't like her, those things shouldn't come out of your mouth because it validates all the other things that people are saying. But here's why I think that the observation of what they have going on is so important. See, Jess got a little bit ahead of herself in my observation, especially in partnership with what's happening in the spring. She got a little bit ahead of herself when she decided to go live and respond to Corey Holcomb's video. Right? Because when she got the job at the Breakfast Club, boy, was she posting that thing everywhere. She had actually posted that she got the job before the Breakfast Club actually posted that she got the job. Before it was even official and like signed, sealed, and delivered, she had already posted. That says to me that she's really excited about this job. She desires this job. This is something that she wants. This is something that she's been asking for. And so what happens when we experience resistance and we don't ask for the lesson? We get ahead of ourselves and we do more harm than good to ourselves. So to me, this whole Jess Hilarious situation symbolizes resistance. Where there's resistance, there's opportunity for growth. Where there is emotion of frustration, annoyance, disappointment, whatever, there's opportunity for growth. If you will choose to see it as that, rather than blaming the situation. What I would have loved for Jess to do in this situation was for her to, yes, voice her frustrations. But after she voices her frustration, she asks herself, what can I do to get better in this space? What would have been so yummy? What would have proven Jess to actually be that girl? Would be her doing something like this. Lauren, telling Lauren, the girl that is actually talented at this job, Lauren, you do a great job at this. Can you give me some feedback on how I can apply some of this stuff in my life? Because I'm not a journalist. I'm a comedian. But I want to add some of that journalism feel to my work to create a better dynamic here at the Breakfast Club and in my work in general. How do I grow from this? But see, what we are seeing is Just Hilarious wanting to run instead of face the fact that there's some growth that she can have and there's things that she can learn from the observation of Lauren LaRosa. But instead she says, I'm trying to be in the studio less anyways. I'm trying to be on the road and do a comedy show. And even if that's the case, right? Even if that's really, really the case and not a deflection, even if that's really the case and not a deflection, there's still something to learn. Because if Jess is going to be going on the road dealing with people, there are going to be people who have an opposing opinion and viewpoint than her. So she needs to be able to not allow her emotions and her feelings of being inadequate to stop her from learning what she needs to learn. The lesson in all of this, y'all, that we all have to really take and understand is that Spirit is always showing us a greater reality, a new season of life, another opportunity, a next level that we could get to. And so anytime there's energy like that, energy like, what the hell is this? Like, whoa, 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 what is that? Anytime you're feeling that, that Spirit saying, level up. Level up. Like, let's go. And it don't even be hard. That be the funny part. Like, even with Just Hilarious, DJ Envy, Charlemagne, and Lauren LaRosa, they actually can have something very good in the dynamic of them four. The dynamic of them four could actually be good if they would choose for it to be. If people would detach and say, you know what, I'm not going to personalize these people's actions. I'm not going to make this about me. Here's another great example. This just happened to me about two weeks ago too. The owner of the volleyball school that I coach at pulled me into the office. And he basically said to me, Desiree, we pay you more money than the work that you are doing. He basically said to me, you are the highest paid person in our company and you work the least amount of hours. I don't like that. That's literally what he told me. You get paid too much money for the few hours that you come and work here. I need more from you. That rubbed me the wrong way. In person, I was cool, calm, and collected because I was doing some calculations in my mind. I was adding up my time. I was doing all of these different things. I was making it work in my mind, right? And when I left out from the office from talking to him, in my mind, I'm like, this, and he ain't even a black man, but I was saying in my head, excuse my language, y'all. I was like, this nigga really just tried me. Like, you literally coming to me and telling me I'm not working enough. You literally coming to me telling me that the value that I bring is not enough compared to what you're paying me. And I had to tell him in the moment, I had to say, the reality is, sir, is that the value that I bring is not something you can quantify on a spreadsheet. And I had to tell him straight up, I had to be honest. I said, it's like you want to be able to write down what Desiree does And the value that I bring is way beyond that. And he said, yeah, I understand. He said, yeah, I understand, but I have to be the judge of that. This is me and my quote unquote boss / owner having this engagement. He said, yeah, I understand that, but I'm the judge of that. And he's right. He is the judge of that because he's the person coming out of pocket, but they don't change my opinion. So I'm pissed off. I'm like, what the hell? Who the hell? What are you talking about? Whatever. Do you know who the hell I am? That's why you're paying me what you're paying me. You're paying me what you're paying me, which in your logic and reason mind is more than what you think, but the heart knows. Your heart knows why you're paying me what you're paying me. Your mind just can't rationalize it. So I was pissed off at first, but when I got in the car and I started thinking about it, I was like, well, that's what it is. What he said is to be expected. Because I know that my value is intrinsic. My value comes from how I make people feel. My value comes from the impact that I have on people. It's not by me coming up here with a whole bunch of papers and saying, let's do this, 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 and this. And that's the way he sees value as a masculine man who doesn't understand internal value. So I understood. And I was just like, thank you, Spirit, for giving me that revelation. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me this level of resistance. And instead of me, this was so good. God is so good. Instead of me being like, fuck what he talking about. I'm going to keep coming back in here the way that I want to come back in here. I'm going to just keep doing me. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Guess what I did? I got on good old Chat GPT. I'm just showing y'all how it's not hard to actually level up when Spirit is telling you, let's go. You make it harder on yourself because you believe that it has to be hard and it doesn't be. It doesn't have to. I got on Chat GPT. Let me tell you how clever this was. I got on Chat GPT, artificial intelligence. I took my contract that I have that breaks down why I get paid what I paid, what I'm paid. I took my contract and I copied and pasted it into Chat GPT. And I said, Chat GPT, give me a few ways that I can practically implement, physically implement some of these things that are expected of me in this program coordinator position where I'm coordinating people for volleyball. Enter. Chat GPT gave me the whole breakdown. Seamlessly. Guess what I did? I copied and pasted what Chat GPT gave me, and I sent it to him in an email. And I said, these are the things that I will start doing now in order to align more closely with what is on my contract. He emailed me back. This is great. This is awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, this is what I was looking for. Do you know everything that ChatGPT wrote down, I had already been doing? I just didn't have it written down for him to see it logically. We be thinking that what Spirit is asking of us is so hard. When Spirit is just asking us to just have the desire for the greatness and have the willingness to move in it. That is it. Have the willingness to move in it. Say, okay, Spirit, if this is where I'm being led to go, give me the steps and I'm going to do it. Period. But if you take it personal, like Leah just said, if I would have took it personal, like he's attacking me, I would have been in my ego and I would have said, forget that, I ain't doing nothing. I'm going to show back up here tomorrow doing the same exact thing. Which would create further resistance in my life. And in this job, which is not a job for me, it's really purpose work. He don't even know. This is what he don't even know. He don't even know. He paying me to do something that I love. I'm not even pressed on the pay. Like, I'm not pressed on the pay, sir. I'm not even like, dude, I don't even care. I love it. I love coaching. It brings me pleasure. I enjoy it. So if you need me to go write down some things, that's cool. Fine. It didn't take me no time. It didn't take me no time to do it at all. And you want to know how instantly I know? You want to know how I know He's about to end up paying me more real soon, real quick. He about to be paying me more real quick. You want to know how I know? This just happened 2 days ago. On Tuesday, this just happened. So I'm doing my work. I'm there. I'm having a private lesson with one of these girls. I'm teaching her some things one-on-one. The manager of the building, she comes up to me. She says, "Hey, Desiree, this is going to sound really crazy, but I need you to do this. But Claudio needs you to do this." That's the owner of the company. He says he needs you to do an interview. I said, "An interview?" I said, I've never had to do an interview before. Like, does he have some questions? Like, what does he want me to do? Like, this is real random. And she was like, "No, he doesn't have any questions. He just wants you to pull the young lady into the office, ask her some questions based off of what you know we need, have him on the phone call, and see how it goes." I was like, "Okay, sure." And so I walk on over there. "Hi, I'm Desiree. Come with me in this office. Let me ask you a few questions, blah, 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 blah." I had him on the phone. He was on the phone listening in to the conversation. That interview went so well. Your girl asked questions that was on point. Your girl asked questions that was really relative to what we are needing and looking for. Built a great rapport with the lady who came in. I truly believe the lady that is coming in is going to be a great addition to our team. Sir, you're going to have to pay me for that. Because on my contract, it don't say hold interviews. But now that you've requested that of me, and now that I've done it, and I've done it exceptionally well, oh yeah, you got to add something on top of that. That's the gift. That's the blessing of recognize the resistance, not taking it personal, asking God, where does your growth actually come from? Taking that leap of faith, walking in that growth, leading the way in that growth, and you get blessed beyond measure. You think I couldn't have fathomed. No, not even that. Not even just that, right? So this was so good because there's another woman at the job that does the same exact thing as me. And she's been the one that's been leading all the team meetings. I just been kicking back, right? Getting paid to relax, getting paid to do nothing. I've been kicking back. I've been like this in the meetings. Yeah, okay. All right, y'all. Bye-bye. After I sent him the thing from ChatGPT, he calls me the next day and he says, "You know what? I want you to start leading the meetings." I said, "Okay, I got it. What he doesn't even realize is that I'm a speaker. Speaking is what I do. I'm a talker. I can talk. I can convey a message. I can teach. I can lead grown people. So he says, "I want you to lead the meeting." No sweat off my back. That's easy. I talk to y'all every Thursday. Be delivering a message. Y'all be getting it. We be feeling each other. He didn't even know how seamless and easy it was going to be for me. So I'm standing up in front of our 12 coaches and I'm just giving it, right? I'm doing me. I'm being Desiree D. Ray Wise. I'm giving my wisdom, my coaching, my philosophy. I'm giving all of that. And it was great. Every other time we've had a meeting, y'all, we done been up in there for an hour. I lead the meeting. We there 30 minutes and we gone. The very next day after the meeting, he says, "You did a great job leading the meeting." He said, "That's exactly what I needed from you." He says, "They need you." He literally says, "These coaches need you. They need your voice. They need your energy. Like you got to speak up more. Like you have to do that." Another one of those things you're going to have to consider when you are assessing my raise, right? My raise beyond what you already think you're doing. You're going to have to put that in consideration. Got it? So we rise up to the occasion, right? In this spring season, there's going to be some cold nights. Meaning there's going to be moments where you're like, "Ooh, I don't know how to feel about this. This is feeling a little argumentative. This is feeling like nuck if you buck. This is feeling a little intense." But for every equal day, there's equal night. For every equal night, there's equal day. So whatever you are feeling is like causing you resistance or frustration or whatever, there is a blessing that matches that same energy, just on the opposite side of the spectrum. But you got to choose to walk to that. You gotta say, God, lay it out for me. At least just give me the first step. Give me the first step, and I'm going to show up. And let me also say this last thing before we go today. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comment. Let me say this last thing before we go today. Do not be afraid to work on multiple things at one time. That used to be me. So I done started waking up earlier every morning, waking up earlier. I've started being more vocal at the volleyball school, right? Like if I see something happening with coaches, I'm just going ahead and addressing it. I'm being more vocal, right? I'm waking up in the middle of the night and waking my 2 older kids up to go to the bathroom, right? Which is hard because our master bedroom is downstairs, their bedroom is upstairs. And at 2:00 in the morning, who really wants to walk upstairs and say, get up, go to the bathroom? But I know that I need to do that to support them with training themselves to get up and go to the bathroom. That's just what I got to do. It's hard. I don't like it. I'm not excited about it. But I know the power and the strength it's going to give my kids is something that they need. And I'm willing to give them that. Okay? I'm showing up to work 10, 15 minutes early. Do you understand? I'm showing up on time here, right? I'm doing all of the things. I'm cooking lunch every day for Dream and I. So that's a lot of different things that I'm doing at one time. And we can't be afraid of that because all of it is working together. And you are so right, Nessa, just give me my money. That's it. Just give me my money. And it was so funny, y'all, because when that happened, when the guy had talked to me and I had talked to Dream about it, Dream was like, it sounds like they want you to act like you an owner of the place. And I was like, babe, that is exactly what he told me. He was like, I just want you to be more invested, right? Because I be getting in and getting out. I be like, I'm here. I do what I do. I coach, I teach, whatever, then I get gone. And babe was like, yeah, it sounds like they just want you to be more invested. They just want you to da-da-da-da. They want to feel like you really care. And I'm like, I do care, but not enough to be overworking myself. I'm definitely not doing that. But then I realized that I can still show my desire for this place to be successful, for the kids to be successful, and just have a greater impact while I'm here by communicating more to these adults. Because it's not the kids, it's the adults, it's the coaches that I'm having to give my energy to. Right. And yes, yeah, it's been great, y'all. And so y'all, I hope that this helps y'all to recognize what is happening in your own spring season. Okay. I take what I be dealing with and I just translate it in a way for you all to be able to reflect on your own life. Like I said, I'm just giving you the skeleton. I'm giving you the layout. You can go and put your stuff in, right? And if you are having a hard time with that, I am here for the one-on-one, right? I'm here for the one-on-one conversation. If you got, this is so good. If you got a spring reading and it was right on time with what we're talking about today, let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. That's 1. 2, if you got a spring reading from me, then next Thursday, we are going to have a class on integration. So what we just did today was like an introduction to being able to observe and pick up and learn. Next Thursday, if you got a reading from me at 6:30 p.m. next Thursday, the 27th, we're going to come together, everybody that got the reading, and we are going to deep dive and decode, and I'm going to help y'all understand how to actually implement your work and get your results. Okay? Let me know. You know that reading was on point. Yes. I love that. It was so good. So good. And what I love so much is that in y'all's readings, I learn and I grow and I take away insight from it. So it's always good. Cosmic Energy said, Brother Rich used to say, when you want something, the universe puts someone who has what you want. Not to get jealous, but what? Absolutely 100% factually. There will be somebody right when you say you want something, baby, spirit going to drop an example right in front of you. Boom. I'm telling you, like, and I forgot to tell y'all this. So I took the kids for a walk on Monday, like I told y'all. And as I was walking, I had came across this older woman. She was walking with her dog. Cool. Like you see people when you're walking. And I keep going. We say good morning. We keep walking. Next thing you know, I run into a Spanish man, right? A Spanish man. He's walking kind of fast and he's getting it in. We say buenos dias and we keep walking. I take the kids to the park and they play and they do their thing. Why? I don't know how this happened, but why I ran into both of those same people on the trail again in different spots. So it was like some sort of like, I don't know, like some sort of, that has never happened. And I be taking my kids for walks all the time and we see people all the time, but I've never ran into the same two people on different spots of the trails. I'm like, ain't no way in hell we walking at the same exact speed and in the same exact direction. I mean, no, in opposite directions. So it's like we started here, we met here, and then we kept going and met back here. I'm like, that never happens. Usually somebody peels off and goes home, or somebody's walking slower than the other, so you miss each other. But no, we met each other right at the same time twice, two separate people. That was not coincidence. Okay? That was not coincidence. And I was just like, wow. But that connects with what you said, cosmic energy. We see people who we need to see, and we'll see them multiple times until we get the message, learn what they have come to teach us, implement what they have come to teach us, and then we move. Okay? Beautiful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Let me say this. Most of everybody's readings have went out. The only two people whose readings have not gone out is people who did not fill out their consent form. So you're going to get done if that consent form is done, right? If you filled out your consent form on time, you have your reading. Check your spam. Oh, I don't know what's happening with my computer. Check your spam messages, right? Because sometimes I've noticed that some of emails that be coming from business addresses, like mine's does, it will go to a certain folder that says like promotions or things like that. So please double check. If you have not received your reading, double check all of those folders, right? Your spam folders or your junk email, because the settings on your email may have something set up to where business emails or marketing emails go somewhere else than your main inbox. So check that out. And if you don't see it there, then reach out. Okay. If you don't see it there, then reach out. Got it? Right? Okay. And then also, last thing I want to say for the people who got a reading, realize that you also receive a free 15-minute consultation with me. A free 15-minute consultation with me. So if you got your reading, you listen to it, and you have any questions, or you're like, ooh, I want more clarity on this, or I want more insight on this, use the link sent in the email once you pay for your reading. Use that link and book your consultation. Free 15-minute call. Make sure you put your phone number in there. Okay? Do that, because I'm super excited to talk to you and support you and help you to sort and sift through. She said, oh my, I almost forgot about the integrating meeting. Yay. Yes. She said, my reading spoke on exactly what I need to hear. Perfect. 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 Yes. 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 Thank you, Nessa. I love that picture. Listen, I knew somebody was about to ask for a reading, right? And boom, drop the link right there. I just dropped the link right there, Cece. I knew somebody was about to ask. So that's the link. If you go ahead and get one, if you get it in, let's say before next week, I will still do it, the spring reading, and then I'll still let you join that class that we're having on the 27th. Okay? So that's the link right there. I had a feeling. Who would have known it was going to be for UCC? I love that. Love that, love that, love that. That's spirit. All righty. So I'll be seeing y'all. Y'all enjoy this lovely spring, okay? Do the work, okay? Do the work. Don't even think about it as work because it's not work. It is so much fun to challenge yourself. Yes, it comes with its like adversity. Yes, it comes with a little bit of fight, right? I told you I am infinite being talking about thank you. I just found my reading in my promotion folder. Exactly. I already know. You know, your girl be know. That's why the readings be so good. The readings be so good because I've just chosen to be a vessel for the Most High to give me insights, right? Yeah, be great. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all. I'm looking forward to supporting y'all in this spring season. Y'all got this. If you need support, you could book a reading or book a consultation or do something, but this is not a time for you to just keep going on the same path you've been going on if that path is not screaming greatness, abundance, love, health, wellness. If the path you are on is not fulfilling right now, let's do something about it. You do not have to accept the reality that is out of alignment with what you know you desire. All right? And I'm here for that. And I'm here to support you through the whole process. Okay? Remember, it's about the journey, not the destination. The journey is where you gain the most gifts. All right? Peace and love, everybody. I'll see y'all soon.